Hey, Just Start community. I am so excited to be here again on this Lunch and Learn Out Loud with Caren Glasser. Today, we are going all things into ChatGPT. Um, maybe not all things, maybe that's a little bit extreme, but we are definitely going to learn some things in ChatGPT. And I cannot wait for her to build live with us a great example on how to use that. So, welcome, Caren.
I am excited to be here. Thank you for having me. Krista, Steph, I'm excited to be here. So before we start, I want to say this very, very clearly. You don't need to remember everything that we're going to talk about today. You do not need to use every single idea. You do not need to become good at ChatGPT. This hour is not about doing more. It's about thinking with less friction. And you hear me use the word thinking all the time because that's really where I come from. If at any point something gives you some relief, that's your win. If it doesn't apply, then just skip it. That's not resistance. That's discernment. So today we're going to treat ChatGPT the way I actually use it, as a thinking partner and clarity aid, not a writer, not a productivity accelerator, and definitely not a replacement for your judgment. That last one is probably the most important, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, sure, we have things we want to walk you through. But if you have questions, please ask that. And if you have ideas or ways that you want to run through any of this, the participation is encouraged, and we would love to learn out loud with you.
Absolutely. So let's just make sure we're all aligned. This is not a checklist. We're not giving you a checklist. You're not going to be checking things off. This is not a system that you need to install. I'm curious, how many of you, raise your hand or say something in the chat, have Chat GPT either installed as an app or you know how to get there on your web browser? I'm curious. How many people?
I do. I love chat. And
Yeah,
I've
I
been
do
playing
too.
with Claude, but I'm back. I keep going back to chat. Like I can't.
It's don't you feel disloyal, a little disloyal when you go somewhere else. Jennifer,
Yeah,
so you're using it. We got a couple of Jennifers, Shannon.
Shannon's in
Okay,
it. Yeah.
awesome. So this is not about prompts that you're going to memorize because God forbid you should have to memorize all these prompts. I mean, really, your head would explode. You're going to support moments that you already recognize when your thinking is crowded, when your output feels off, when you're tempted to start over instead of slow down. That's me. That's me. I just sometimes I go, okay, forget it. And I'll literally go into another space and say, let's just start over.
Matthew, if you're on pro version, you jump in and you teach us things too as we go.
Yeah, pro
Fred,
version is
we're
awesome.
so glad you're here, Fred. ChatGPT is an easy download or easy to access on your web browser,
Very.
and Caren can show you
We're
kind of
gonna
just how it starts.
Yeah, we're gonna
Blank
open it
canvas.
up and show you. And I get asked this question all the time. I think we were asked last time on the workshop. Do I need to pay for this? Do I need to pay for my AI platforms? And my simple answer is yes and no. You're going to figure out as you go through these workshops with us and as you start playing with these things that there's going to be something you go, I really like chat. That's the one I want to marry it, and that's when I'm going to basically do everything. Then it may be beneficial to upgrade to a pro account.
Okay, let me pause there for a second. So ChatGPT, if you're free, I believe that you are training the models,
Yes and no. You can switch it off.
even on the free account, because I thought only that could be switched as if you pay for it.
No, I had a free account up until several months ago. Now, if they in transparency, things change every day, and it's possible that since they've rolled out the paid accounts, they have changed it. I would have to ask one of you guys that have a free account, go check it out. Let us know because I have no way of seeing it because I have a paid account.
Okay,
So
so that's one thing to consider, right? And then another thing to consider is how current it is. And my understanding is when you pay for a ChatGPT account, it thinks faster and is more current and it doesn't forget as much.
well,
So,
that's a little bit of hopeful thinking. Again, if you don't set it up right in the first place, it doesn't matter what number you're on, whether you're on 5.2, 5.1, 4.2, or whatever you're on, and it's based upon whether you're paying or not. However, when you're in ChatGPT, you have an option to say, I would like to do it with this. I would like to do it with that. So they give you some choices. From the last time we all met, I think we talked very briefly, and I'm not going to go into Claude at all, but I remember we talked about settings in Claude and that you couldn't do it in chat. Well, guess what? Since that workshop, you
Right.
can now put your settings into chat, which makes it a little bit easier to tell your platform who you are, what you do, and why you do it. And in fact, I've created an entire brand workshop that we're going to do how to literally create your brand box with everything you need so that no matter where you go, you can take that brand box. It's your voice, it's your tone, it's everything.
Now, for transparency, because this is all about me learning out loud too, ChatGPT is the first LLM that I paid for and
Mm-hmm,
one that I continue to pay for. I pay for it personally. I pay for a workplace
mm-hmm,
account. Um, and in that workplace account that I have with my team, that's the place where we talk all things airworks. And so that actually trains the system, and the team is able to benefit from me training the same.
exactly. Exactly.
So there
But
are
know that
affiliates.
accounts do not cross over. So your
Correct.
personal account does not cross over into the team account. And that's a very good point. I mean, what you're talking about is having a team on the platform, working together, collaborating. Everything is there and it's learning from everything that you're doing. But there is that switch. Again, I'll have to check and see if the basic free plan, if they've turned.
I just logged into a non-paid
Yeah.
account, and the setting to turn that off is still there.
Okay.
Yes. And I think, well, again, we're not going to get into the legal ramifications and the things that we're seeing all over the news today and for the past week. But there are certain things that we are still able to protect ourselves. Thank you for checking, Krista, because that would have been one of those things that I would say, it depends on what you're really doing. You may want to pay the $20. And it has to do with your return on investment. We're not talking about return on investment right now, but that really is a tool. So if you can make a call that if I pay that $20, I literally can do the work that I normally did in 10 hours in 1 hour, it might be worth your time and your money to do that. All right. So I'm going to talk about one grounding principle, and then we're going to go through a couple of quick wins, and we're going to connect it with HVAC organization so it makes sense for you guys. One grounding principle before we go further. ChatGPT works best when it supports how you think, not just what you produce. When people feel overwhelmed by AI, it's usually not because the tool is too powerful. It's because they are asking it to replace thinking instead of to support you. Today, we're going to flip that. So we're going to talk about 4 quick wins. The first one is ask for clarity, not content. This supports when you're starting at a proposal. So you're getting ready to do a proposal for one of your customers, and it feels off. Either the tone of it feels off, whatever. Most owners go into they open up ChatGPT, and what do they type? Give me a script. Write me an estimate email. What should I say to this customer? It's not that those are bad questions. They're just expensive ones. Because when you skip the thinking step, the output is going to sound just like the internet, not like you. Okay, so you're going to replace these. And again, guys, we have some bonuses for you. You don't have to write this down. You're going to get a replay. If you're like me and take furious notes, then write it down. So you're going to replace those with summarize what I'm actually trying to communicate to this customer. What decision am I circling in this estimate? What are the trade-offs between these 2 repair options? A dispatcher trying to word a difficult reschedule message doesn't need ChatGPT to write it. She needs to get clear, she meaning you right now, Steph, needs to get clear on what you're actually trying to say. What problem you're trying to solve? What is it an estimate? And then the questions come much faster. So clear questions reduce unnecessary output and stream and stream and stream and stream and stream of content that you get to the bottom and say, that is not actually what I needed.
So
You have a question. I see it.
yeah, it's not as much of a question as I love to talk to think, right? And so ChatGPT gives me that opportunity to kind of work it out with somebody and together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of what you're saying makes it feel like you have to know the journey and you don't from the beginning. So let me tell you, this is a space where you should just start.
Right.
And you just start the conversation, right? And then you can clean it up. And so Caren is actually at like step 2.
No, we're going to go
Clean it
back.
up a little bit.
We're actually going to do an entire live demo on the journey.
So sometimes I go to reply to a
Yeah.
customer, or I go to create a post online, and I think, before I do this, I'm going to screenshot it. I'm going to throw it through chat and see if it makes any suggestions.
Right.
Right. And
And
so that's part
that's
of
what
the
we're looking at.
partner
Yeah.
that I use all the time
Right.
to
Right.
be an editor for me or to take my draft to another level. So I just wanted to share that tip.
Oh, no, absolutely, absolutely. And to piggyback on that, we're using ChatGPT as a thinking partner, not necessarily the writer. You're coming with what your thoughts and your ideas. And what this supports is when what it gives you sounds fine, but it doesn't sound like your company, then you need to be able to ask those questions. If you've ever had a tech ask ChatGPT to write up a follow-up message and a customer tested back, who is this? This one's for you.
Yeah.
The move isn't going to stop using it. The move is to use it differently. So you share your rough thinking first. Here's what happened on the call. So this is your approach. You open up chat. Here's what happened on the call. Somebody called. They wanted an estimate. I wasn't able to do it. Whatever happened on the call. Ask ChatGPT to reflect, organize, or ask you questions about it. That's important because, again, it's a thinking level. And then decide what really matters and what actually matters in that situation that happened. Write or say, because guys, you can push the little microphone. I'm like you, Steph, stream of consciousness. I talk to my chat and I literally say, okay, I'm just about to go down the rabbit hole, stream of consciousness. I'm just going to talk. I literally do that so that,
And so that's a good tip, right? Is that you should talk to ChatGPT or type or however you're communicating, right? The same way you would a human,
right,
to some extent.
right,
And so if you have a new employee and you haven't trained them at all on who you are or what you think, how can
right,
you expect them to respond the way
right,
that you should?
right.
So I have the benefit now of a really well-trained chat. It's part of the reason that I don't want to cheat on chat with Claude, but I'm working through some of those things, right?
I get it.
And so understand, don't give up when you're just getting started, Fred.
Right,
Like when you log on and it doesn't sound like you, it's because you haven't trained it to sound like you yet. And
right,
so you get to have more and more of those conversations together and it will get better. I can't tell you how many times in the beginning I said, stop sounding like AI. That's not really enough
no,
context for it to stop doing that thing. So I had to keep giving it examples of who I am and where
right.
I'm trying to go.
Right. And your CSR, who's been with you for 8 years, 10 years, 3 years, 4 years, needs to know how to talk to a worried customer, right? ChatGPT can help her organize her thoughts, but it can't replace how she actually sounds. It only can help her with her thoughts. Again, the communication model, if we've ever talked about that, it's just not just the words. It's the expression on your face when you're saying it. It's the tone in your voice when you say it. If you send an email and it says, hello, the person who's reading it is reading it in their own voice. If the person is saying it to you, you hear it. So it's very important that you make sure it's your voice is coming through, not chat. You don't want chat to do that. So thinking comes before output. Here's quick win number 3. Keep one question per thread. This is so important. When everything starts blending together, mid-conversation, say to yourself, maybe I need to move to a new thread, or maybe I need to branch to a new thread because it has everything to do with what I'm talking about, but I need to be able to find it without going through pages and pages and pages and pages.
Also a learned skill.
It is a learned skill. As I say every time, I have made every mistake so you don't have to. This is a mistake that I make. I still make it. It's Tuesday morning. You open ChatGPT with 3 problems, a pricing question, a technician script, and something about your Google reviews. You type them all in at once. ChatGPT tries to answer all 3. Now you have a wall of text and nothing you can actually use. So let's change it. Let's flip it. Name the single thing you're solving right now. So the obvious thing is take one of those 3 things and start just with that. Keep follow-ups tied to that one thread. Open a new chat when the question changes. Close the old one. Done is done. And I'll take it one step further. When we go into chat, I'm going to show you there's a place that you can open something that's called projects. So if you're doing a lot of different stuff on estimates, I would suggest you might want to open up a project that says estimates. And everything that you do, you save to that project.
Now, it's okay. Jennifer's talking about an octopus mode with the chat, like sometimes that happens. And what I find I do is I will tell chat, I've got too many things going on in here. Can you please reproduce this idea for me so I can copy and paste it into a new chat?
The problem with that stuff is if you have done several reincarnations and gone back and forth and took something and something, it only can go back so far. So here's a trick.
You're not wrong, but it's not all lost, is what.
No, I didn't know it's not lost. None of this is lost ever. But what chat actually suggests is that because it cannot go through all these different things, is that you find, because you can do this, you can do a search and find everything about ChatGPT that you did some research and stuff on. You can take that into Notebook LM and put it into a notebook and then ask Notebook to sort through all these gazillion pieces of paper that some say the same thing, some doesn't. They're time-stamped, but I don't know which one's the most current. Please give me the most current, because that's using your AI platform smart. Use the platforms for what they're good at.
Smarter than I was talking about. I was just saying, hey, chat, help me start a new one, right? So, yes.
Yeah, there's that. So you want to think of it like a service call. You don't diagnose the AC, fix the furnace, and quote a new water heater in the same visit. You might if everything broke all at the same time. One problem, one solution, and you move on. Okay, quick win number 4. Pause without losing context. This moment supports when you need to stop, but don't want to start over later. How many of you have gone into chat? You start working. I tend to do a lot of my stuff on my phone. Don't do that. Don't do that, because if you're on your phone, it's not as obvious to you that you have to save something, go copy it, take it over to a drive or save it to somewhere else because you're on your phone. You're not on your desktop. You're not where you can just drag and drop. So I'm going to suggest that if you're going to use your phone, make a note somewhere to go back and copy it, like literally what the thread was called, because you will forget. It's not that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with Steph. There's nothing wrong with Krista. But
all I use is my phone. So
right, but and then
on my desktop version.
Right? And then when you open it up and you've just got stream of consciousness, and then you have that little bit of a challenge. All right. You're mid-conversation. You're working through a tricky customer situation. And again, we're trying to connect these with HVAC home services situations so you can kind of hear it in your head. The phone rings. A tech needs you. You come back 20 minutes later and you have no idea where you were. You don't need to finish every thought in one sitting. That's a real life situation. So before you walk away, ask ChatGPT to summarize the current state of the conversation, just like Steph said. If you have not gone on for literally, pages and pages and miles, chat probably can grab most of it, but you may find yourself saying, wait a second, I thought we said this. And that is something. So when you're working on chat, copy immediately, paste it somewhere that you know where it is to go back to. If you run a home services business, you are interrupted constantly. This move means that the interruptions are not going to cost you the thinking you already did. Questions about that? Anything else? Because we're about to jump into a live demo, which is I'm really excited about. Any questions? Doing good over there?
I mean, I'm confused on what I'm copying and pasting and saving outside of chat.
I'm going to show, because we're going to do it right now. So I'm going to show you in the live. We're going to do a live demo and actually take what's given to us, copy it. I'll give you the commands for your.
We'll see it all live. We'll do it all
live.
Okay.
So you notice what we didn't do today. We didn't optimize prompts. We haven't optimized prompts right now. We didn't chase speed. We didn't try to have AI do everything. We used ChatGPT to reduce the thinking fatigue on busy days. We asked ChatGPT to surface the real decision before you act on it and protect clarity when your business is pulling you in 6 directions or more than that. That's a win. That's just not how this tool works best. It's how you work best. Okay, so we're going to do a live demo. I'm going to go ahead and open up chat. Let me go to chat. Okay. All right. And we will be giving you this, so I don't want you to worry about it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because you won't be able to see it if I don't do that. All right. Can we see that?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to change this. We're going to create some prompts that is going to do the customer journey, the actual customer journey from the homeowner's perspective. All right. So these are prompts that I literally created in chat. I said, chat, what are the things that people are asking about? I need to create a prompt because I'm going to do a live demo for a home services organization. So the first thing that we came up with, and I copied and pasted it, and I've already done it because I wanted to make sure that we got what we needed. Create a simple table showing the HVAC customer journey from the homeowner's perspective. List the stages as searching, calling, scheduling, tech arrival, diagnosis, repair, follow-up. Now, Steph, if you look at that and you go, they're missing something, you would add that something in there, whatever that stage.
So let me slow down for a second. Caren already knew that she wanted to see this information in a table. So Caren asking chat to do that from the beginning is an elevated skill, right? So
Right.
you get to decide, how do I want to see this information? Do I want it to come back to me in a paragraph? Do I want it to come back
Right.
to me in a bullet point list? How do I want to see this? And so you're right here, she's already instructing her
Mhm.
employee how she wants her product to turn out.
Right. Right.
And
And
so
I'm going to show you a different way to do it that would give you writing rather than a table.
yeah, right. No,
Again,
it's
different
great.
ways that you want to look at it. And it depends on the prompt, to be honest. Keep the answer short, one sentence or less, and present the result as a 2-column table, blah, blah, blah. Here is a simple HVAC customer journey from the homeowner's perspective, focusing on the main question. Let me make this a little bigger. Can we see that now? Bigger?
That one's smaller.
I felt like the text went smaller, but the window
That
got
is so weird. How did that do that? I don't understand. I literally made the screen full screen.
it's okay.
I don't know why I did that. Okay, and now, okay, so I'm going to go this. I'm going to make the print larger there. Let's do it that way.
That's good.
Okay, let's do it that way. All right, so this is what it came out with the, come on, the stage and the homeowner concern. Searching, who can fix this quickly and who can I trust? And the reason why this is going to be great for any of you, because if you're going to do some content, you're going to do content around this, right? This is actually where you're going to do content around, unless you're with Hydros and it's already doing the content for you. But we're beginners over here, so we have to kind of tell our chat what to do. Calling, will someone actually answer and take my problem seriously? Scheduling, how soon can they come? Will the time window work for me? Tech arrival, are they professional? Do they seem knowledgeable? Diagnosis, what's actually wrong? Is this going to be expensive? Repair, will this fix the problem? Will it break soon again? And follow up, did I choose the right company if something happens again? Did I miss anything, Steph? Is this basically what happens? People call, they schedule, they ask questions?
Yeah. And so this was Caren and I were working to prepare for this, and she said, what's something that you're currently working on? And I said, I'm trying to perfect the customer experience and the journey of the customer for my company.
Right.
So for me, I probably wasn't going to ask questions in the same way because I want to figure out what are the SOPs or the standards that we have to create to lead somebody through each different area. But I think even just understanding the different touch points
Right.
is important.
And there's more, and then there's follow-up prompts that actually will address that. So the next prompt is based on the HVAC customer journey we just outlined. Create a simple comparison table where AI is helpful versus the human interaction is critical. Focus on small HVAC service businesses with limited teams. Identify operational tasks where AI can improve efficiency without reducing customer trust, and highlight moments where human judgment, communication, or empathy are essential. Remember, I told you I went into ChatGPT and asked it to give me the prompt. So we are not asking any of you to come up with a prompt. I'm suggesting strongly you use the platform to help you create the
Can you
prompt.
show us that, Caren? Is that possible?
I will show you that in just a second.
Okay, so what she's saying, you guys, is all those words, the really smart words that make it feel like you can't do this, she didn't actually create those. She had ChatGPT create that prompt for her.
Right.
And that's often what I do is I will go in, I will ask a question, then I'll say, help create a prompt for me.
Right. And then you'll give it some criteria. This is what I hope to, this is the problem I want to solve. This is how this is my resources. And that's a lot of stuff that goes into this that we're not even touching on. I have more time than money. I have more money than time, that kind of thing. So literally this answers all the questions. And then I ask the next question based upon what Chad told me, based on the HVAC customer journey we just outlined. Did we just do this the same thing? Is this the same one based upon? Okay, we're going to go to the next one. For each stage of the HVAC customer journey, marketing, call intake, dispatch, technician visit, follow-up, suggest one way AI could help improve efficiency, one place where human interaction is still essential, focus on small HVAC, and then it literally gave me how to do better. Marketing, this is things I would be creating content around this. Answer common homeowner questions on the website or social posts. My next question to chat and then taking it over the call would be, okay, I need to get the 10 common homeowner questions that people ask, and I need to create some social posts around it, do it in my tone, my voice, and yada, yada, yada. So I did say that that's a chart, but the other way you can do it is to put the questions in and not ask it for a table. I said, this is part of a live demo I'm going to do. And it literally gave me in words how to do this. This is not what I wanted to show the audience today. This is exactly what I don't want people to do, is the run on, and then they can't find where they are. So to answer your question, Steph, we're going to do a prompt in here.
Okay, and I know we were talking about earlier how to copy and paste, but that's what these little symbols are, you guys.
Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to go back to the we'll just stay in here. All right.
And you would see it on top of a table. So sometimes it's easy to just copy and paste it somewhere else. And so I understand what you're talking about moving the assets and securing them.
Right.
So essentially, you're creating the SOPs for your team and saving that information somewhere so they can access it.
You are, but you still are going to want to go through all those pieces of paper that you saved, because invariably you will have asked chat something that you forgot you asked chat a month ago, and now you're asking chat the same thing, and all of a sudden when you do a search, multiple things come up, and which one is the most recent. So when you save it to a document, your document in your computer literally tells you the date it was saved, so you have a timestamp at least. And yes, these are the little icons. You would click on the copy, you see the check mark, and then you would go into, and I'm not sharing my entire, am I sharing anything at all?
We can see it. We can see.
But if I open, I'm not sharing the whole screen though. I'm just,
no.
Yeah.
So I would just open a doc and I would paste it on there, and then I would save it, give it a name, either put it in your Drive if you have a team, maybe a Drive if you're, or Asana or Trello or Notion, wherever you know your team is going to look for it. But again, you can be neurotic like me. I have it on my Drive. I have it on my desktop. I have it in OneDrive. I have it everywhere, because.
So Matthew's asking if you would just paste it into something like Word, like a Word doc.
Yeah.
And yeah, it depends on what you're going to use it for. So that's a fine place to memorialize it, and then you can use it again from there.
That is, and I use the word canonize. So once you've got your stuff that you need, then canonize it, memorialize it, give it a name that you'll remember when you're searching for it. If it's for Claude, make sure Claude's in there. If it's for home services and customer something, make sure you have put that name there. Otherwise, we are creating like we have never created before. We are creating mountains and mountains of content that we need to know how to find. So I'm going to go back to,
And so, real life, you guys, I don't always do this. And then I get frustrated when I go back to chat and it doesn't seem to remember what we produced before. And I've created some really important documents that I thought was going to be that I thought they were going to be safe between chat and Manus. And those were things that should have been downloaded. So at least I had that starting point again. So
right,
this is one of those things that we're trying to say once you get to an end product, so save it somewhere,
save it
right?
somewhere.
And,
Yeah, and
maybe
do projects and
maybe
create
you
projects. So
file
at least
maybe you
there's
file differently. Maybe you file in an email and maybe you want to send
where,
somebody that information.
wherever you want to put
Search
it.
for
The
there.
point here is I strongly encourage you when you get to the end of a project or even in the middle of the project and you go, that's it. That's the thing I need to use. Copy it. Just put it somewhere. You will never find it again. This is just the way the overabundance of stuff that gets sent out. So the question was asked, so how would you actually do a prompt, right? So let's open up a new chat. And Steph, give me, what do you want? And I'm going to give it some information. What, in addition to, we did the customer journey, the client journey, give me something, because again, I'm not in this industry, so I don't know exactly what to put in here. Krista, do you know questions that come in?
I mean, we should ask. I would say something new. Like I'm new to using AI, and I'm curious what things I should optimize in my business first.
What do you mean by things? That chat's not going to know what things mean. A AI platform, which AI, how should I use you? We're asking chat now. Okay, I'm going to ask chat specifically. What is the best way to utilize you when I'm thinking about my content? We want to make sure that what he knows not to do with you and what to absolutely do for you.
Yeah,
So,
and so I would then say, help me create a prompt. And what you're saying, Caren, that
I'm older
will
than you know what. I forgot what I said. What did I say?
uh, know what I can do or can't do, right? Or what to include or not to
Help me
include.
to that best. Oh wait, okay. That I know what you're trying to say. Okay. Based now, and again, keep in mind, guys, it's based on what he knows about me. Now, I'm talking about
And you're obviously not new to AI, so it's gonna
no,
be
and but
crazy.
based on what you know about me, if I were to tell someone the best first prompt to use when learning how to use you, how to use chat. That's what you're
Here's
asking.
a prime example, you guys, of the fact that you can use this totally differently. Because
Yeah.
Caren and I are going to use chat totally differently, and that's okay, right? We're going to come out. We have similar ideas where I will ask ChatGPT to help me create a prompt for where I'm trying to go, right? And that will work for you. And that's what she's doing here, just
And I'm going
formed
to
a little
do it for
differently.
HVACs, so I'm changing it
But
slightly.
let me tell you that the most important thing is that you start somewhere. And so just get started and you will get better and better as you go. Yes, Matthew, we will walk you through creating a project. I can't wait. I love projects.
Okay, so I just changed it slightly because knowing I'm not new to AI and he's literally going to come back and say, what are you talking about? So my client is new to using AI. What is the best way to utilize chat I'm going to say, what is the first prompt to ask?
Yeah, and why don't you say utilize chat for their HVAC business?
Okay, so what is it? Utilize chat in their HVAC business. And what information do you need from me, from the client? What info do you need from the client to help design this prompt? I'm asking for whatever it needs from me, this prompt, and that's important. Great question. Thank you.
I often tell my chat, stop being a yes man. You don't have to tell me all the time how wonderful I am.
Yeah,
'Cause
that is important. That is
that's
important.
how it is generally set up,
Yeah.
right? And I have asked my ChatGPT to push back and ask me questions to make me sharper.
Right.
And so I've
Yeah.
had to set it up to do it that way.
Yeah, and I asked it for info. What does it need from me? Okay, so great question. For client, the key is not just giving them a prompt, but designing a structured prompt that reflects how their business actually operates. Thinking. This is exactly the kind of response we want. That way, ChatGPT becomes a thinking partner for operations, not just a random answer generator. Since you already frame AI as a system of thinking, because it knows me, in your workshops, the best approach is to gather a small business context pack first and then rebuild a usable prompt from that. Here's the minimum information. So we've got everything here. I will make sure, again, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it on a sheet that will become a third handout.
Yeah, this is even further than just asking it to give you a quick prompt. This is creating a master prompt for you to save this information, and then you're able to use this into projects. And so I think we should answer Matthew's question on how to create a project and what we would add up
But
there.
before, I want to show you something. This is what actually came up in chat, and you will notice that there are little pieces that have little copy signs over here. These are examples of the actual how to fill this out. So this is actually a really cool prompt, and maybe we will give that, I'll add that prompt to the sheets that we're handing out. Let's go to projects. All right. It's quite easy. On the left-hand side, let's talk a little bit about what's over here. We have the chats, all the chats. If I didn't put the chat into a project, they still live in the left-hand column. As you can see, it's a mess. I've spent some time starting to take the chats that were in the left-hand column and move them over to the projects. So the very first thing that I'm going to have you do is click on New Project. You're going to give it a name. So it's Matthew who's asking the question. Matthew, what kind of things are you going to create? Social? Are you going to create some email campaigns? Are you going to create what is it that because we're going to name this project. Let's make it specific.
So I have different projects based on different businesses that I'm involved in. I have I have a project for my kids, and then all my kids' information lives under a project. I have cooking.
Right.
Right?
And that's, yes.
And I go there to do that work.
Yes.
And so chat already knows that my son's allergic to eggs.
Right.
And so when I'm in the cooking area, it will say something like, well, because Benny's allergic to eggs, you should use these things as a replacement.
Exactly. But let's keep this in the HVAC world, in the home services.
What would be, so I'm just filling time.
So what would be customer follow-up? Would that be, or estimate? Okay, Steph, you said you had multiple projects. Give me the one that's for your business, for this business.
So Matthew just said, I use chat to answer complaints and create workflow for my business right now. So let's take that complaint idea, right? And so we would create a customer service project, perhaps, or even complaints. And that's the place
I like the customer service better because it's the good and the bad. It's the, customer service. All right. Create the project.
Yeah. If you do something like that, it's misspelled, you can always go up to the top and
right. Did I misspell? Oh no. Oh, I did misspell it. There you go. I'm going to project settings. My brain.
No, you're good. You're typing faster than online.
All right. So this is all about customer service. So you notice there's two things, chats and sources. If there are things that you always use, like FAQs for your customer service, or responses that you've done before. When people come in, they come in with a complaint. That's where you do it. You add your sources, you put them in here, and all you have, you can go to your Google Drive, you can upload a document, you can go to Slack, whatever you want.
I screenshot it and generally just add a picture.
There
So,
you go. And
uh,
then then you start, then you chat.
so Matthew has an example here. He put the prompt in the chats and he says, "You're the business owner. Write 3 possible responses to this letter of complaint." So, um,
and he did it in the project, or did he do it on the side?
I think we're just teaching him how to learn projects right now. And so, Matthew, the reason that we want to do that inside of a project is because we keep training now our customer service brain part in chat
Yep.
gpt, and so the next complaint I would also bring into the same space, and it'll keep it from whether I had pancakes or made focaccia
Exactly.
last night for dinner,
You
right? Like
can
I'm
take a
using
look. Yeah, if you take a look here, you can see how many projects I have. I have a project for every single workshop I do. I have a workshop project that
yeah.
within that workshop project is every single workshop that I do.
And I also think though you want to be careful to not go so small that it doesn't have context.
Right,
And so you might just do all work things,
right,
or all customer service things in the same spot. And underneath it, you may have a thread that's complaints. And then you can keep going back to that same thread, but you might
right,
have another thread that's like, how do I respond to 5-star reviews?
right.
Right? And that would be inside the same customer service project. And that voice learns more.
So I think do you remember when I said that you can either start a new space thread or you can branch off? Let me show you how to branch off in a thread. This is one of the best things that I think they came up with. So this, when I was doing this, it showed me, do you want me to show you something very powerful for your workshop? And I could have said yes, but then it would keep going and going and going. So that would be a very good reason. And I'm going to say, I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go down here, more actions, branch into a new chat. I'm going to share this tab instead. And then you see where it says branched from AI for HVAC business. So the chat's there, but now you're going to have a separate little thread that I wanted to show me something very powerful for my workshop because it asked me and I didn't. So show me, because I have to do the right person, show me something very powerful for my workshop. And now it's creating some more demos. Again, this is for me, not for you. It's based upon me.
Absolutely. But you could have a project that is all sorts of prompt guides.
A project that's all sorts of what?
For you, because you teach,
Right?
you might have a project that has to do with prompt guides, and then underneath it, you could have an HVAC one, you could
Yeah,
have a
absolutely.
marketing one, you could have, all these different spaces. So
I think what you're saying, Steph, is we all think and do things differently. I organize in a certain way. You organize in a certain way. I could certainly see organizing the way you did. I put all of one kind in a folder / project, put everything in one, like on my workshops, put everything from that workshop in a project, like the emails and the registration pages and the copy, the agenda, everything. That's another way to do it. Or you may decide that I just want to do all my demos for my workshop. I'm going to have just a demo project. It depends on how you think. Back to the thinking thing.
yeah, and so the power of projects is that I feel like you can go deeper into that space, and it helps really contain
Right,
that idea.
right.
So, Matthew, if you've been using it before, you're not doing it wrong to just have things out in chat. But what
Right.
you're doing is if you can, and you can move some of those chats up into a project.
Let me show you how to do that right now. So let's say you've been doing all these chats down here and you realize, uh-oh, I didn't put it in a project. You go to it, you see the 3 little lines, the dots there, you click on it, and you can move it to the project. You can rename it. You can start a group chat, which Steph, you and I have a group chat.
Yeah.
And that's powerful too. If you don't have a team account, you might want to bring somebody in to have a collaborative conversation
And I'm
there.
not sure if you can group chat from a free account or not. That'll be something that you guys have to look into.
Yeah.
Um,
Krista, you want to go into that free account and see if they can do it? You
but
can in the chat, you can archive it. So you have multiple things you can do here. So if you have already gone down the rabbit hole and you already have a mountain of chats and you know that some of them all go together, open a project, right click on it, and then move it to the project. That simple.
Yeah.
Any questions that we have on this?
Jennifer's asking about how group chat works. Group chat has come a long ways.
Yeah.
I feel like it wasn't as collaborative in the beginning, but now we can actually collaborate on a chat together and post ideas, questions, etc.
And
Right.
you can from a free account. I just checked. I was
Great.
able to create that group chat.
That's great. That's great. And so I collaborate in this. I do a show called The Digital Collective. So I collaborate with my co-host. Interestingly enough, he goes into Manus and creates the scripts. I go into chat. I create another script. And then we take both scripts and take it into Claude and say, okay, combine these two and make it sound interesting. So again, lots of different things you can do.
Jeanette, I'm not sure what company LLM you're talking about. It does not support projects.
What are we talking about right now?
In the chats, Jeanette says, options if your company LLM has access to ChatGPT but does not support projects.
I'm not sure what that means.
Right.
What I can point out is that there are connectivity now. There's apps you can connect. You can connect Manus now to this. That's something new. I just saw that the other day. I just now connected Manus, which is great. But you can connect apps. And when you click on apps, there's productivity, there's lifestyle, there's featured. You can connect your Canva. You can connect your Instacart. Whatever you want to connect. And going back to the food project that you have, you could connect your Instacart, create your menus, and say, Instacart, go buy the food for me now. So there are ways to do that. And what this actually does is creates GPTs for these platforms. So it's ChatGPT that's working with Canva GPT. So when ChatGPT talks to Canva, they're talking to the they're talking to the Canva GPT. It's created in Canva, and then you can go finish it. But for our purposes here, we're keeping this simple. I'm just pointing out some areas in here that you can go. There's a deep research area. Chat is connected with Atlas browser. So it does a lot of deep dives now. One of the things you said at the very beginning, how current is all of this? In the beginning, chat was only as current as the end of the last year. And so if you asked a question of something going on right now, it didn't even know where to go get it. Perplexity is current. But since chat has launched and since the other platforms have come out, there is this race for everybody to catch up and be able to do it. So now chat, if you put in a search inquiry, more often than not, it's going to find something a lot more current than it used to. But again, I don't use chat as research. I use chat as thinking and giving me categories and topics based upon the research.
I will have to tell you that if you ask chat, should I go somewhere else for this information? It will tell you that it can do all the same jobs, right? And it will try to show up as that other tool. So,
right.
I encourage you to be more conversational, and all of the questions that are holding you back from doing it, share that. Ask those questions and tell chat, like, I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but and it will help guide you through it. Or, I really wish I was getting this information. This doesn't make sense.
I have to ask you in order to get and again, if you set it up properly the first time, and again, we will do a workshop on this because there is actually a process of how the LLMs actually read. For instance, not every LLM can read you can't upload a folder. You can only upload a file. Some don't read links. You have to give the whole copy. So you have to know the different things. But we'll do one on this so you have your brand box. So no matter where you're going, you know what you can give it. And then a lot of these, what if this happens, goes away because you've already set the foundational stage. But most of us, and I can guess, have already dipped our toes into ChatGPT. You've already started to see that you can make mistakes. And it's not a mistake like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. It's I now have 3 different spots that say the same thing. That's what I mean by a mistake. So when you start setting it up the right way, that's not going to happen anymore. You want to begin with the end in mind. Where do you want to go with this? What's the problem you want to solve? I'm going to say that over and over and over again. Chat is your thinking layer. It is not, even though I've used it to create content, I take the content somewhere else to make it sound better.
One other thing that might be really helpful to show is the settings under projects where you can add your instructions.
Yes, I will do that. Let me do that right now.
Oftentimes when I'm starting a project, and maybe this is where you're going, Krista, because I don't know so much about that section, is I would create actually what I call a master prompt. And so like if I was having a section about Airworks, I would tell it all of the things about Airworks, create a PDF, and then I upload that into Teach It things.
Yeah, in the instructions area, that's a really good place to kind of talk about like your tone, your brand.
I'm going to show you where it is because it's not obvious. It used to be when you set the project, as I went looking for it. When you set the project, you would give it a name, and then there was a block right below it that said, what is, that's why I went to look for it. There was nowhere to put that. Okay, so
we're not sharing your screen yet, Caren.
I know. I just wanted to find it first so I didn't look like an idiot. I didn't know where it was.
I was hoping
every time you log in, it's somewhere else. That's all I can say. Let me just share the entire screen.
It's just all the things that like you want chat to remember about what you're talking about for that.
All right, here we go. Let me just get rid of this. So let me go back to the project. Here was the project that we set up that was called customer service. It didn't give me anywhere to put description. You go over to the right-hand corner, top right-hand corner, where there's some dots and it says project settings. Wouldn't it have been nice for them to put that in the original? Yes, but they didn't. So here's the instructions. Set the context. Customize how ChatGPT should respond to this project. Or how not to respond to the project. Default, project can access memories from outside the chats, vice versa. This cannot be changed. So that is just automatically there in the project. It can access in the project, whatever.
You're literally teaching me things right now. I didn't even know about all of this, Krista and Caren. Like, I'm so excited to know about it. And the idea about the memory being able to lock it or not, that's really powerful.
Yeah. And I want to, so that's where you do. So did that answer the question with how to identify your project?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. The other thing that I want to point out before we leave and are done, let me just go to this for a second. I'm going down to the bottom left-hand side where it says settings. Somebody asked, how does it get shared, your stuff everywhere? So I clicked on settings. Security. You can identify if you want it to be used. Let me see, general.
Data controls.
Is it data control?
Yeah, there it is.
Improve the model for everyone. Off, turn it off. We're not here to do that job for chat, and you don't want your stuff all over the place. Here's the caveat. Look, guys, we can turn it off. Is it really mean that they're not sharing it? I hope so. But we also know that, and again, this is nothing that we all know this if you're watching the news. ChatGPT, the body that owns it, they are now going to allow the government to share. They're going to share with the government everything that they have, which is why Claude said no. So that's just kind of a thing that you want to keep in the back of your mind. I don't worry about it because I'm working on content. I'm not putting anything in that's totally private, but I wrote a love letter to my husband on chat because I'm not a writer, but I knew what I wanted to say. It was beautiful, actually. And then I wrote, there's
I
so
don't
many
think that's
things
so
you can do
terrible
with
to
chat.
train on. I think it's more like when I upload my financials, do I want that to be trained into the LLM,
Right,
right?
right.
I think share all the love, but it's not, you
Well,
don't
it's
turn
not
it on
just
and off.
the LLM, somebody else's LLM. It's outside. We're not just talking inside your own, your one that you just signed into.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to show you one more thing because we have bonuses that we're going to give away. There's going to be a replay on the page. We'll get the as soon as I get the video, I'll get it uploaded. But I want to show you what the tab. Here we go.
Matthew made a Valentine's Day card, he said.
I love that.
Yay! So you're going to get two different bonuses, the ChatGPT step cheat sheet and the setup checklist. So the things that we talked about today, how to make sure that your chat knows who you are. This is not a full-on workshop brand thing, but the basics you need to give to it. You'll put, and then the replay will be here as well. So I'm going to put the link into the comments, but it will also be in the, let me get out of here, stop sharing. I'm going to put it into the chat.
If nothing else, I hope that today has empowered you to get started and to try doing these things. And if you have questions about them, please come back to the community and ask those questions.
Right.
And we are happy to guide you along the way. There'll probably be other people who are just 2 steps ahead. And that's what is so powerful about this group is I want us all to learn out loud
Right.
and to share the light, right? And so if you're 2 steps ahead, share that information. And there's going to be someone that has the same question as you. So there are no dumb questions in this space.
Right. There are no dumb questions. And I'm going to suggest, because we just did a workshop on chat, if you have questions and want to keep the conversation going, go to this event. Let's get that chat going. And we will go back. That way we know where it all is. I think it's a great way to be able to continue on this. It will have the replay there as well. It will have the link where to go get the bonuses. And if you have questions, I would love to answer questions. I know Steph will. I know Christy will. That's what we're here for, guys. That's what we're here for. And if this was beneficial to you and you go, you know what, I think chat's going to be my platform, great. But don't make a decision yet.
It is a great first place to start.
Right.
And it is still my comfort zone.
Right. Right. And it is, and it becomes that's why I say, wherever you end up, you're going to end up there because it makes you feel comfortable. You feel like it gets me. And then when it gets you, it can help you create that brand box. So that's what I think we're going to do next. We have another workshop that's happening. That's not a lunch out loud. We're going to be showing you something very cool about how you can make sure that you own all the videos and contents that you put out there and monetize them from day one. Pretty cool. All right. Any last questions?
So let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you, ladies. Appreciate you. And I'm so excited to get more people started using these tools. And remember, they're learning with you. So just keep training them, keep patient, and keep doing it because it's not going away. This is a muscle that you need to strengthen, and it will grow with you.
It will. Absolutely. Nothing to be afraid of. And it needs you. It needs your humanity in this. Seriously. This stuff doesn't work all by itself, even though it looks like it does. See you on the next workshop.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
I think maybe we just leave because.
I think so.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.